What if growing your team didn't depend on your time? And it was quick and easy to get everybody up to speed playing from the same playbook. If you're building a business, you know you can't grow if you don't let go, but you also know the struggle of repeating yourself, trying to get everybody on the same page and scaling the way things are done. Well, you're about to go on a behind-the-scenes journey with Gary Vee and E-Myth legend Michael E Gerber, where you'll learn 3 critical entrepreneurial mistakes you must avoid today so your business can not only survive, but thrive tomorrow. Lesson 1. Stop reclimbing the mountain.
For the longest time last year, I was training to try to run the whole loop in under 40 minutes. Which is like up this mountain, down this mountain, up the mountain behind it, down the one behind that. I started Trainual because everyone, whatever business you're trying to build is honestly like climbing a mountain. It's a struggle. It's like every day you're just trying to take one step up, one step further, push yourself until you're at the top. And when you're at the top, then you feel this sense of relief. It's like, I did it. Now, writing down everything that you do, having a system for your business is like the equivalent of paving the way up the mountain as you go, so that if you slide down, if you make a wrong step, it's easier to get up the next time. Too many people are just struggling every day, trying to rebuild the same thing that they did the last day. That's why we built this. Now our ride's here. So we gotta go.
Wasting $8,340 a year because that's how many hours are being wasted on managers training people that they could be doing in selling. That's one of the biggest issues every SMB has in the world right now.
And I just want to quickly share with you how Trainual has greatly changed our business.
I just couldn't believe the difference. One day I'm here and one day I'm over here. I couldn't believe the difference.
And by the way, we wasted enormous time on senior people training people through osmosis.
Lo and behold, that documentation, it allowed us to keep our head on straight when the growth started to go like crazy.
Where we started evolving, and I started realizing, wait a minute, not everybody learns like me. We do need stuff like this in place. It's human stuff.
We needed to find a new solution that could help us to bring in employees, get them trained up so that we can put them on the front lines as fast as humanly possible.
There's some very specific milestones when you're building a business. Processes and systems is a big part of that.
So that was a huge problem for us because I needed that concrete data that could tell us, hey, we've got 10 people who started and we've got 9 people who are 40%, we got 1 person who's lagging and they're 20%.
I relied too much on tribal knowledge when it came to training and onboarding and integration, and I was really feeling the burn. I was 100% sucked back into the company, and it was very cannibalizing for me.
And when you're scaling a sales force, it's very difficult to move from, say, 5 to 10 people all the way up to 40 to 45 agents. And that's what we've done with our business, and we wouldn't be able to do it, I don't think, without Trainual.
So we were looking for a full-service software that could help onboard our new employees, but also train our existing employees when we have new policies or procedures that come into play. And so after researching several different companies online, we settled on Trainual. A couple of big reasons why was the pricing.
It's like humans equal money, and they waste time because small businesses are bad at hitting costs. Like, do you understand how much that's actually worth?
I learned about Trainual from my friends at Design Pickle, and they'd use that obviously to grow their company over 200 employees.
And you know, like sitting here talking about it, it seems like common sense, but I ran businesses for almost 10 years without ever doing that.
Using Trainual for quite a while now. Our new agents use the onboarding boot camp that we set up, so they go through a training procedure, step by step. They go through the modules and then they take a quiz at the end. And now we also have standard procedures for our buyer lifecycle and our seller lifecycle that we reference constantly as an office. So when anybody has a question, the first thing we say is it in Trainual?
If you don't have your processes documented in a way that allows somebody else to come in and take the wheel and drive, then you don't own it, right? You don't own the process, you don't own the company. And you need to start dialing in your systems and processes if you want to scale.
The process, you can pull it up on your phone. Here's a video. Oh, well, there you go.
It's such an easy thing to use that I didn't even realize I was training as I'm also learning it for my job.
You now have the ability to kind of see where everyone is at, maybe see where people are falling behind or could use additional help, all within one spot.
When they do come in, they already have that insider's view and insight into how everything operates here.
I think if you don't own the process of how you do what you do, then you really can't scale it. Lesson 2, stop repeating yourself.
I think if you're at the point in your business where you know you're running out of gas and you need some help, then the obvious step is to enroll some other people, to get some other people to help you do the work. Because you can't do it forever. If I force someone into using Trainual or convincing them that this is going to solve their business problems, but then they don't have the commitment to put the time into actually building the system and giving it to someone else and perfecting it, then they can't succeed. And so it's something that, not all businesses are built to scale. Not all entrepreneurs are built to scale a business. And if you're an entrepreneur that wants to have a simpler business and can run that simple business with just you or just a handful of people, you don't need Trainual. If you're an entrepreneur though, that wants to grow a business that extends beyond you and extends beyond your first few employees or your first few friends or family members that banded together, and you know that you can't do what you've done the last 5 years for 5 more years, and you need to create some kind of solid foundation of your business. You need a manual for how your business works that you could hand to someone else. You need to build a business that you could someday sell because someone else could step in and run it. If you're feeling like that, then you'd read through our site and you'd watch our videos and you'd know this is the product in the community for you. So I don't want to force anyone or convince anyone that this is right for them, because I think it's a personal thing. It's something that your business has to be at the point where you know you're ready to put focus into this. And if you're feeling that, if you're feeling like, I want this to be the year that we finally button up our systems, we finally standardize what we do, and we finally make it easier to automate bringing on more people, and we make it easier to reproduce the results of our best performers. If you're feeling like that, then you know you need the system. That's what the system does.
Lesson 3, every business needs a playbook.
The story, this is how we do it here. This is who we are. So let me tell you what we're in for. Essentially what I'm going to do is, if you'll excuse the expression, piss you off. That's my job. Now, I do my job really well. I've pissed off more business owners in my life than anybody in the face of this earth. I know that.
That's a quote from me. This is how we do it here. This is who we are. How do you do it here? When you go to Apple, they could tell you exactly how they do it there in an Apple store. When you go to McDonald's, they tell you exactly how we do it here. Right, etc. That was the brilliant quote, Michael, that created two great companies. Mine. I want to share that with everybody. You follow me?
Trainual. Get your business out of your brain and start your free trial today.
Danny liked it.
It's not about the business you own. It's about the way you do it.
So there's a thickness to people. Understand when I say they're in the box, in the box, in the box, in the box, they are consumed by the box. And they're so habitual in it that they're incapable of opening up to literally feeling it. You gotta feel this if anything's gonna happen.
You know, I'm passionate about is just like even an additional positive, because with Trainual we're able to, you know, create something that helps people.
Without action, nothing happens. So you'll have to subscribe to everything we're doing, me, the legend, Michael E Gerber, and look out for more content coming soon.
I don't know where you're at in your business, but if your business is at that point where you feel like it's time to just button up your systems and create that foundation and be able to have a playbook that your teams can run on so you can actually grow and not just have to rely on running faster, running harder, working longer hours. If you're at that point, then Trainual is the obvious answer. I mean, it's a system that's been proven to do this for thousands and thousands of companies around the world. We've built our whole team, our whole community and culture around helping small businesses do this. And if that's where you're at, it's a no-brainer.
So when we launched our New Again Houses franchise this year, we quickly realized that our growth was going to be limited by how quickly and how well we could train franchisees. And so we started trying to bring them on site, and it just wasn't sustainable, and it really wasn't very good because we were just overloading them with information. So then we discovered Trainual, and with Trainual, we were able to create an experiential learning environment that was really good for training, and it has accelerated our growth and really increased our capacity. So for New Again Houses, Trainual has been a game changer.
A couple of big reasons why was the pricing seemed the most fair to us. In addition to the fact that they were the easiest platform to navigate and upload and modify information as we needed it. Right now, we currently have 162 users on there, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be closer to 200. So again, it's a really effective software. The staff there is super responsive and helpful, and I just love all the technology tools that they provide their customers. Take care.
So the ability for us to record video make PDF files, even picture content that we can have agents train on and also test on. It allows us to train our agents in a high-tech environment, which complements our high-touch environment in the office on a day-to-day basis. So a huge recommendation of Trainual. It's really easy to use, but I think is the most important part. It's something that's too complex. Agents just won't pick up and utilize. And in addition, you can make it fun and make some great training quizzes on the back end of it. So it's engaging and it gets our content through. Our results are fantastic and it's going to pay for itself multiple times over. I highly recommend it.
A couple weeks ago, I was with Gary Vee at the 4Ds workshop in New York City, and we asked him how he'd market Trainual. Do it, pulled the trigger, and here we are in Manhattan, about to do this all-day workshop with his team, so it should be cool. 10 Hudson Yards, is this it?
Yeah, exactly. That you can get them to, here's an idea, buy it.
Is because my dad is like the cliche textbook central casting of like an SMB. Everything's defense. Everything's like short-term ROI. That's why they're not getting tricked into lower funnel. It's just lower funnel is what they do. SMBs don't build brand. They're in the sales business. Everything is short-term. It's the nature of the beast. So I love these questions because it's so easy for me to go into my head and be like, what would get my dad to do this? He would never sit down and do it on theory.
Yeah.
He would definitely not do it because it was good for his employees. He wouldn't. It's just not what he is. He would definitely do it if I could convince him that he's wasting $8,340 a year, because that's how many hours are being wasted on managers training people that they could be doing in selling. SMBs are binarily on short-term economics. If you tell them, you pay me $100, what they're very bad at is hidden costs. Small businesses are bad at hitting costs. They're too binary. They don't see the bigger picture, and this is obviously generalizing, but it's very cliche, especially when you come from zero. Cash is king, you're looking at it.
So you might recognize this place because I'm in Gary Vee's office. Same seats that he sits and interviews the most amazing business leaders in the world and gives advice to people like you. And you know what? He didn't build this brand and build this business without building a ton of systems to support what he does on a day-to-day basis. So take a look over there. Over the last couple years, this empty area turned into an area that was populated with hundreds of people. And you could walk around this whole floor and you'll see people that are just actively all day buzzing and building the systems that support Gary. So what systems do you have in place to support your business and to take what only you know today and be able to scale that tomorrow? So check it out. That's what we do. We love to help you scale your business like this too.
Here's a bonus tip. Lead with empathy and invest in experiences.
Connecting flight to go into Dubai. You didn't need it. I need a lot of coffee to knock it out. How does Jonathan have such a laser focus? Yeah, can you find this? Amazing. He'll find it in 2 seconds. Guaranteed.
What are you trying to find?
This case. I need one more just like that. And I feel like they're
Not use that phrase, but you just put somewhere like, have a enterprise or over 100 seats. You can get it down here.
Show them the surfboard.
Spin
back to visit my first office, 160 square feet. Some lawyer or something's in there now, which is very much more appropriate for a lawyer or a solo person. We had like 8 people with assembly line packaging DVDs and probably broke some kind of fire code, but it was really cool to be here and to reflect back on where we came from. It's been 8 years since I was in this building. But really being here in this place, it just snaps me back to that feeling of grinding inside your own business. And so, of course, with Trainual now, it's a different type of grind, and we've got teams and we're building cool things. But with this business, with my first business, I had to learn to get out of the day-to-day. And so for me, it was moving away from this office, actually. I'm fortunate that I had an awesome team here of great people that were able to run the business while I moved across the country from Massachusetts to Arizona to focus on our systems. And it was really that intentional focus on our systems that let us scale to be able to do events all around the country and for me to be able to sell the business a few years later. And this was when we first moved in. A little tiny desk that I got from Staples, and then eventually we replaced it with a bigger desk, also from Staples. You can see there's 2 rooms there. That was just a storage room for the longest time, but then it turned into kind of an editing room, so we had this little editing bay and this shelf in the back with all our supplies. Look, this is when there were still VCRs. There were VCRs in there. There's the door I'm standing right outside of there. Actually, you can kind of see it says Firewire Films, Ronzio Enterprises. That was what the business used to be called.
If you're ready to build a business, to build systems for scale that are not dependent on you or any one employee, then try Trainual. Start your free 7-day trial right now.